What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today. And today we have massive unboxing number 35 for you guys, the Airliners International 2023 edition. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome to today's massive unboxing where we have all the models that I got during Airliners International 2023. What a haul right here. I am super excited to get into this. I hope you guys are as well. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, everybody, welcome to massive unboxing number 35 for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. So a little bit untraditional here, but I'll kind of explain. So yes, we're already looking directly at a model, and that's going to be the NG models 1 to 400 scale JetBlue Airways Airbus A321 with the Prism Tail, our 200th aircraft sticker. This is the NG models Airliners International 2023 exclusive models. So we have a bunch to dive into here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, you're probably wondering why there's no box here. Well, unfortunately, I have absolutely no idea what happened, but between this model, the Delta 757-300, and the Braniff 727-200, those three boxes somehow went missing before I left on Sunday. So I was looking for them and I couldn't find them whatsoever, which was really interesting because I remembered seeing them probably on Friday or so. I definitely remember seeing them at some point. So I don't know if somebody accidentally grabbed them or if room service perhaps threw them away or whatever happened, but unfortunately, I do not have the boxes at this time. I hope to get replacement boxes at some point. That'll be especially hard for this one, but yeah, it's certainly unfortunate, but or if somebody grabbed them or something. I have no idea what happened to them, but certainly unfortunate. But the critical part is that we still have the models, and that's what matters here. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this aircraft. So this is the JetBlue A321 R200 sticker, Airliners International exclusive. So NG models made 35, yes, count them, 35 of these to sell at Airliners International 2023. So this is a very valuable aircraft right here. Certainly unfortunate that we don't have the box, but it's all good. It happens. I'm not intending to sell the model anytime soon anyways. So I got it obviously because it's the exclusive. I mean, how could you not? So really excited for this aircraft. I do have a Prism 321 by GeminiJets, but this will be a perfect complement as I did end up selling my NG models one during a collection reevaluation. So this will be a great model to have. I'm super stoked to have it. This is a perfect addition to the collection. And let's go ahead and get into it, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Starting right here, we have the cockpit windows and then the titles. I can't see what they say from here, so I apologize. Along with some sort of warning right here. Then you have the L1 door right here, along with various JetBlue logos. And you can see you got the Fly logo, the window, all that fun stuff. There's nose landing gear, slightly tilted ahead. I think it's just a little bit much, but not too bad, along with the antenna. And there's your JetBlue billboard titles right there, as you can see. In addition, you can also see another hazard right here, or whatever the panels are called. So there we go. We do have some various inspection panels as well. And then, of course, this is where your first class is going to be really cool on the 321. That's fantastic. Here's the L2 door as well. And I also think that has a rated trademark there on the JetBlue logo, which is pretty cool, so neat to see that. And then as we continue through the aircraft, of course, nothing too crazy once we get on from here. Their new livery is certainly much more creative than this one. So you can find here where you're going to have your main cabin etched there for a moment, or I should say Economy Plus in this case, whatever JetBlue calls it. It's like Core Plus or something. I think I can't even remember the name, but then you get into their main cabin. I'm pretty sure that's called Core, which is nice. Here's the JetBlue.com engines. That look really good right there. Really good engine detail on those IAE V2500s. And then, of course, you got the main landing gear there as well. Here's the winglet. As you can see, it looks pretty good here for a 321. Not too bad. The shape on the engine mold's kind of hit or miss, so not horrible, but certainly I've seen better mold or better casting than that. There's the L3 door, as you can see right there, and something got on the model there, so let me go ahead and wipe that off. So looking good there with the various details. And of course, the big one for this aircraft is going to be the Wi-Fi box. 3 more antennas. Really cool to see 3 of them. And then this is our 200th bold aircraft stickers. So that's really cool. I didn't even know this livery existed until the convention, so that's really cool to see. So 200th is bold, and then it's just a really nice font right there. So nice and simple. Again, kind of an interesting model for them to pick for an exclusive here, but it kind of makes sense since they've done these in the past and wasn't too much more effort to do something different. So very cool to see that. Registration is November 942 Juliet Bravo. There's the L4 door along with the beautiful JetBlue Prism tails. So really cool to see this as they have various tails now with balloons, streamers, and of course prisms. So they certainly have quite their fair share on the 321. On the right side of the aircraft, of course, pretty standard. You got everything that we assessed on the left, plus the baggage door there in the front and also one in the back, and everything in between. Top of the aircraft looks really good right here. You got some various elements there along with some really good wing detail. The 321 wings always have looked really nice, so good job there by NG for representing that. And the bottom also looks really good. You got another antenna like I was referring to, some more detail, the landing gear door, everything that one could want in a stand hole. So really great model right here. Unfortunate to lose the box, but it happens. Again, I don't even know where it went, but it's okay. It's happened to the best of us, so can't complain too much on that. So but a really cool model right here. Certainly very, very glad to have this one. This is a beauty and certainly will be a really cool piece of the collection for many years to come. So very much looking forward to this. A really cool model right here. Highly recommend it for anybody's collection. Alrighty, everybody, next up we have another really cool model right here, and that's going to be the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Delta Airlines Boeing 757-300, and I believe this is the 2021 release, although I'm not completely sure. So let's get into this. So huge shout out goes to AS Aviation. This is a really cool coincidence that happened. So pretty much what happened here is that AS Aviation's attention to detail is outstanding, and he recognized, I would be able to pick up on these sort of things, but he kind of beat me to the punch on this one. So this aircraft's registration is November 586 November Whiskey. So I flew this exact same aircraft from Fort Lauderdale International Airport to Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport back in January 2023, and he was nice enough to recognize that he had a model of this exact aircraft. Now he has, I think this might have been his third Delta 757-300. I can't remember, but I knew he had at least one or two. So he was kind of reshuffling his collection a little bit and recognized maybe I don't need all three of them. So he's really nice to reach out and say, hey, I have this model that you've flown on, do you want it? And I was like, absolutely, dude, thank you so much. But the even cooler part is that he also has a Delta 757-300 that he rode on as well. I believe that was from St. Louis to Atlanta, and I believe it was 591 November Whiskey, if I'm remembering correctly, something like that. So really cool coincidence between two of us that we both now have models that we've flown on for the Delta 757-300. So really cool coincidence between two of us. We're both pretty big guys on attention to detail and everything. So this couldn't have worked out better. Huge thank you, AS. I really appreciate it. I wish I had the box, but unfortunately the box is somewhere in the Hyatt Regency probably, but it's all good. So really excited to have this model. It only sustained a little bit of damage on the way back, but I think I will be able to get it fixed up. So let's go ahead and get into this really cool model right here that I've been on in seat I think it was, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm thinking it was 13 or 14A or something like that, but nevertheless, really excited for this. Let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. GeminiJets does a pretty good 757 here, so I think this is no exception. You also got the radar dome area along with your pitot tubes and everything, really nicely detailed. Here's the SkyTeam logo along with the L1 door, and then of course you have the levered open and closed L1 door. And then of course you got some sort of Delta sticker right here, which looks fantastic. Here's the Delta Airlines billboard titles along with the nose landing gear right here. That also looks fantastic. And of course you got the fleet code. I think it says, is it 5806? I can't see it from here, so I apologize. But a really good looking aircraft. Of course, you're going to have your first class there. And then, of course, you got the Wi-Fi box. So I'm thinking this is the 2021 because this is the more stubby Wi-Fi box. I don't know if that's the best word choice, but the more noticeable Wi-Fi box for sure. GeminiJets has since transitioned over to a more adequately sized Wi-Fi box. So I'm thinking this is the 2021, although I could be wrong. But it doesn't really matter. I just thought I would note it. Here's the L2 door along with some more details in the first antenna right there that looks absolutely fantastic. And, of course, this is going to be your stretch job for the 757-300. So it's a long fuselage there once you get from Economy Plus, or Delta Comfort Plus I should say, to their main cabin, of course. So here's where we go into that. There's your Pratt & Whitney engines. I think they're 4001s or something like that. I'm thinking that's about what they are. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's some sort of Pratts. I flew this aircraft, so I should know exactly what they are, but I'm thinking they're like 4001s or like 3900 or 3700, something like that. But nevertheless, looking good. There's your emergency exit along with the emergency exit slide right there, so that also looks really great. So good job there by GeminiJets for detailing all that up, which looks really good. The wing looks really nice here. The winglet also really nicely detailed there, along with the various elements there for the slats, flaps, and speed brakes. And of course, as I said, you got your main landing gear there and everything in between. For your L3 door, really small one, emergency purposes only, so that looks very nice too, along with some more panel detail. I think this sits like 200 and might be 50, but I'm thinking it's like 235 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a significant amount of passengers. But here's our registration, November 586 November Whiskey. Once again, the exact aircraft I flew from sorry about this, Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta, so that's super cool. The L4 door and the beautiful Delta widget right there looks absolutely beautiful, and so glad to have it. Now, unfortunately, that antenna did fall out, and I was not able to recover it from my booty bag on the way home. I'm hopeful that I can end up coming across another antenna for it. I might just snag one off of my other antenna-based 757, I think the 2018 release, and see what I can do there. But nevertheless, the right side of the aircraft is very similar. You just got some additional panel detail, baggage door number 1 and baggage door number 2. Top of the aircraft looks very simple. Of course, you got some decent detail on the wing, but nothing too crazy. Of course, in the bottom of the aircraft, of course, you got the Delta underbelly. Let me go ahead and flip that around so we can take a much better look at that. So that looks really nice, and no antennas down here whatsoever. None that fell out. There's actually no antennas, which is really neat. You got the landing gear doors, all that fun details. So huge shout out to AS Aviation once again. I really appreciate it, buddy. This is a really cool model, and really cool that we both have rode a Delta 757-300 that's been made in 1:400 scale. So super cool for both of our respective collections. Definitely go give him a subscribe if you haven't already. He makes amazing videos, from trip reports to airport updates and so much more. Great guy, highly recommend it. Thank you so much once again, buddy. Really cool coincidence. And now we proceed into our next one. And that, everybody, is going to be the GeminiJets 2, or actually this is the GeminiJets Select, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, GeminiJets Select, excuse me, that's how obscure this aircraft is. A GeminiJets Select 1:400 scale Braniff 2 Boeing 727-200. So really big get right here for Retro Tulsa. Very pleased about this. So let's get into the story on this one. So Braniff 2, of course, was the extension off the original Braniff that went bankrupt in 1982. This is the relaunch of Braniff, of course, that they pretty much condensed their whole fleet and network down to just Dallas and just 727s, and they ended up expanding and doing pretty decent there for a while. So they did fly to Tulsa, of course, out of Dallas, as you could probably assume, and they ended up doing pretty well there for a couple years. So of course, this was a pretty big piece of the puzzle that I wanted to get, and this model is very challenging to find. I believe I got it for $60, which is a really good deal. It was 60 or 70. It might have been, no, it was 65. That's what happened. It was listed for 70. I offered 60. We met in the middle at 65, so it ended up working out really well. So yeah, first GeminiJets Select aircraft, which is really exciting. I wish I had the box so I could show you guys what the box looked like, but unfortunately the box is probably in the height Regency as well. But the good news is this is the final aircraft without a box. So but looking really good here. Very excited for this one, as once again it was a critical part in a really rare model. So very excited to have this one. Really solid deal in it, and let's go ahead and get into the details, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, here we go. So we got the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. I think GeminiJets does a really good 727 here as well, so that looks really nice. And of course, you got some various details up here, including some cockpit detail here, along with some more panels. Here's the L1 door right there and nose landing gear, which looks pretty good here. GeminiJets Select, pretty much, I believe the intention was, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the intention of GeminiJets Select was to make models that were very popular and limited qualities, to make it like a select model because it's not standard, if that makes sense. So a pretty good line of aircraft. I believe this is like a 2005, maybe somewhere around there, 2005, 2008, somewhere in that ballpark. So certainly very cool. And of course, this livery for Braniff, since they were trying to save as much money as possible, would be an estimate or just trying to look slick regardless, though. Very simple livery. So you got a gray cheat line, a navy underbelly, and then a red Braniff billboard title, BRANIFF. So really cool to see that right here. I think they were all economy on this one, although I can't confirm that whatsoever, so don't take my word for that. Although it does look really nice here, whatever the cabin may be. So looking good there with the Braniff billboard titles. And then, of course, you got the 727 two windows between the emergency exits, so looking really good there. And then, of course, the wings very simply detailed there. You got a little bit of detail, including some kind of mock-up flaps and speed brakes, but certainly pretty standard there for the time. So not bad at all, looking really good. Registration of this aircraft is November 454 Bravo November. And then, of course, you got the three engines there, the Braniff tail there with the really cool navy. I think that looks really good on this aircraft, along with the APU detail as well. So a really simple aircraft. There's not a whole bunch to it. You do have the horizontal stabilizers as well, but yeah, a really good aircraft here. The right side really open up here in the front, which is pretty interesting, but still looks really good. Then, of course, you got some more various details back here, including another cargo door, along with the exit there as well. Top of the aircraft's very simple. You just got the little beacon right there, and a really cool note, how we've noted on other retro reviews there with the 727, how the emergency exit, you had that red square on the right side. Still have never found out what that is. So if anybody knows, please let me know. I'd very much appreciate it. And of course, the bottom of the aircraft, very simple. The only main deviations, you have that GeminiJets Select logo, which is really cool. I hate zooming in and out because I know it's probably disturbing for the viewer, but nevertheless, it is really cool to note that, along with the other various details that this aircraft provides. A really cool pickup. A huge thank you to GeminiJets 1975 for kind of being my last push and motivation, because the price wasn't bad. I was just trying. This was earlier in the convention. I think I got this on Thursday, I believe is when I got this, and I was thinking about waiting because I thought it would maybe stick around, but Mark kind of was like, don't push it, you need the model, go ahead and get it. So I did. Regardless, it probably wasn't going to get discounted anyways, so everything from here on out, I believe, is a discounted model, which is really exciting. So very excited to get into the next round of models, as we have a bunch of good ones, and yes, every single one from here does have a box. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you've probably already seen this one before, and that's going to be the Attitude models, 1:400 scale, JetBlue Airways Airbus A320-200 with sharklets in the spotlight tails. So this is a new subsidiary of Panda Models called Attitude Models on the behalf of West Coast Diecast. They are currently teaming up there to make some really cool exclusive models, and this was the first one. So I did a full video on this if you'd like to check it out, but I'll give you guys a really efficient abbreviated version. Feel free to use my discount code Redriveraviation for 10% off any order at West Coast Diecast. They got a bunch of really good stock and various items, so I would recommend checking them out, especially if you're looking for this one. They do have a really good price on it, so highly recommend checking that out. But yeah, so that video is really good and goes into a bunch of detail, but nevertheless, we'll go ahead and do a fairly efficient version. Got the Airbus titles, of course, CGI. Here's the registration. The box looks nice and pretty. Not a standard box, of course. There's a bunch of detail to it, but again, for everybody that's seen it before, I don't want to bore you too much, and there's a full video really going into good detail. I like the specifications on the back too, so looking really good. Very excited to have this model, as this is a really nice standard aircraft here, and this will be a great addition for various reasons. So let's go ahead and get it out of the plastic here and go ahead and take a look at that beauty. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have the Attitude Panda models, 1:400 scale, JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 with sharklets in the spotlight tail. Super excited to have this aircraft. This will be a really good one for the collection, and I'm really excited to take a look at this. So without any further delay, everybody, let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone, which is really nicely shaped here on the Panda 320, so that looks really good right there. And then you have the hazard right here, and you have me at blue titles, which is really cool. Here's the antenna along with the L1 door right here, and you also got some really good decals, something here regarding JetBlue and the FlyFi logo, which is really nice. And of course, you got the nose landing gear here as well. JetBlue billboard titles look really nice and centered, and just ultimately the font looks really good. That's a really good representation there, so good job there by Attitude Models for representing that. That looks really great, along with the emergency exit and the emergency exit slide. That looks really good. Here's the IAE engines here on the JetBlue 320. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the NG models version real quick as an interesting comparison. You can see there where the engines not necessarily tilted down. It just seems like they're a little bit... It just seems like something's off. I really can't put my finger... Sorry, it wasn't in the frame. I really can't put my finger on it, but it just seems like something's a little bit different there. And maybe this is the correct one, but I believe the Attitude model really gives me the vibe. You can try to get in that view there so you can see what I'm talking about. The Attitude model really gives me a vibe of the hybrid GeminiJets mold that they had from like 2015 to 2017. They used it on Griswold, the Bear, Frontier, and the Barcode 320. But you can see where the engine is really nice and level out there, and that's kind of what this reminds me of in an even more efficient manner. So that looks really good, and that QC turned out really well on that engine right there. There's the main landing gear as well that looked really good, and of course you have the sharklet there, pretty similarly to the NG321. The shape's not horrible, but it could have been improved a little bit more, so you know, give or take there on that one, but certainly not enough to make it a bad model or anything, that's for sure. And of course you got the Wi-Fi box, which is interesting how big it is. It might actually be that big in real life. I would have to go double check. 3 antennas, and then of course you have the registration of November 805 Juliet Bravo Airbus A320 in the L2 door, along with the beautiful JetBlue spotlight tail. Really nice to see the titles there on the JetBlue titles, nice and level and centered. That's really nice. I'm super glad to see that. In addition, you have the horizontal stabilizers along with the APU detail and everything in between that one could want. On the right side, of course, you have very similar details, including the 2 baggage doors, which is really nice. And I don't think there's any other deviations on this side. Top of the aircraft's also really nicely detailed. You got some various elements there with the flaps, slats, and speed brakes from the top-down perspective. And then from the bottom here, you have a bunch of really good detail, including some of the air inlets and the landing gear doors. Just a bunch of everything, which is really cool. So, although this engine, I will say, is a little bit angled down compared to the one on the other side, but still pretty good. So, really good model right here. Highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for just a standard JetBlue plane. Feel free to check out my review once again. We go into very immense detail on this aircraft and everything you need to know for it. So, looking good right here. Glad to have this one and a really great model. Alrighty, everybody. Next up here, we have a really neat oddball model. This is going to be the GeminiJets 1:400 scale British Airways Airbus A319-100. Yes. So, let's get into the story on this one. So JJ Skippy brought a couple models to Airlines International to sell, kind of similar to what I did last year, and this was one of them. And I was like, you know, I think it would only be fair if I helped support JJ's cause, because he was trying to get some additional money to work on some additional models, and I was like, I can only be fair and help his cause. So I did decide to buy this from him, and you know, this is a really neat pickup that I probably wouldn't have got otherwise, because obviously it's a European narrow-body aircraft. The only other one I have that immediately comes to mind is my British Airways Concorde, and I have a couple of other oddballs like the two Thai 737-400s and the Peach A320 that my mom surprised me with. And if you remember, all four of those models, or sorry, yeah, all four of those are outside the Concorde. The other three are models that were kind of interesting circumstances. This one was kind of one that was like, you know, it would be nice to have something really standard to represent some different parts of the world. And, you know, as my U.S. fleet continues to, I hate to use the term juggernaut because that's kind of what it is, but as that continues to just, you know, be a really big part of the collection, it's always nice to spend a little bit of time to deviate to some other projects like international planes and military and cargo. So I thought it'd be really nice here to change it up and try something a little bit different here. I think this will be a really nice model for the collection. So let's go ahead and get in all the details that you need to know. GeminiJets made for collectors by collectors. This is an older box. I'm thinking this is probably like a 2011 or to 15 airplane. I'm not exactly sure, but that question will be revealed right now. This is a 2014 release, so right in the ballpark there. Really nice with the old GeminiJets mold here, so certainly looking very forward to this. This also made an appearance in the Airlines International Airport update, which was one of the many fun videos that we got to make during the convention. There's all your information in the aircraft inside. Again, I'm not sure how I use this. I might try to charter it into great planes or something. We'll have to see, but regardless, it is a nice new piece of the collection to have, and I certainly think that it'll serve me well for many years to come. And here it is, the British Airways A319-100. Alrighty, everybody, and here we go for the GeminiJets 1:400 scale British Airways Airbus A319-100 in the standard livery. Quite a unique aircraft to have here, I'm not going to lie, but certainly one that I'm very excited to have, as I think it'll be a really cool component for the collection here. This is a really good looking aircraft and really diversifies on my British Airways fleet. I'm typically used to seeing this livery on heavy aircraft, but why not change it up here and get it on a narrow body? So this will be really cool, and I'm very excited to have this one. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into everything you need to know on the British Airways A319. Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So right here you have the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. This older mold has a really good nose cone here on the 319, so certainly glad to see that. Then of course you got some hazards here along with the L1 door, and of course the Capman dark livery of course has the really cool, I'm not even sure what the proper phrase for this kind of, I guess, flag. I'm not exactly sure what you'd want to call it, but this symbol here is, so looks really nice between the blue and the red. Here's the L1 door along with the British Airways billboard titles that look absolutely fantastic. And of course you got the one sole emergency exit right there, which is really cool. The IAE engines look fantastic with the British Airways blue, so certainly nice to see that right there, along with the fence tip that is really nicely detailed. You got the main landing gear and some additional wing detail there from the flaps, slats, and speed brakes that look really nice. You also have the emergency exit slide that looks really good too, and all those various details along with the beacon on top and so on. That's really cool. Very simple aircraft, of course. You don't have too much to the fuselage here outside just the plain white livery here, and the camera is about to die and run out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and restart this. Okay, back with a fresh time and a new battery. We are ready to go here. So again, the fuselage, not too much to it, very simple. You can see that really cool symbol right there in gray as well, though that looks absolutely fantastic. Registration of this aircraft is Golf Echo Uniform Papa Bravo, so certainly a very cool registration there, as I'm so used to numbers, so nice difference right there. The L2 door, and of course you got the beautiful Chapman Dark British Airways livery right here. It looks really nice in detail with the various colors. It looks absolutely fantastic, guys. You can see right there. Really nice job there by GeminiJets for nailing that, and that looks really great. And of course you got the APU detail, the horizontal stabilizers, and everything in between. On the right side you have the two baggage doors and very similar counterparts here on the right side. Top of the aircraft also looks really good with the beacon and everything, looking fantastic, along with the IAE engines once again. In the bottom, does have the light blue GeminiJets logo, which is a nice change up. You also got the registration on the bottom right there, which is really cool, along with some other various elements. Very excited to have this aircraft. This will be a really nice component to the collection. Really excited to have this one. I think this will be a very neat component, however I choose to utilize this. And who knows, maybe at some point I could even expand and do a really small airport in Europe or something like that. I would really like to do that sometime, kind of change it up. I know various people have experimented with that, and I think it would be kind of fun, whether it's even just a one-off or consistent or whatever the case is. So who knows, maybe this is a start to it. I'm really excited about it regardless though, and a really cool model to have. Okay everybody, next up right here we have the GeminiJets, a 1:400 scale Flair Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8. So really excited to have this aircraft for a variety of reasons. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So first and foremost, no, I did not get it for $38. I got it for $34. So really neat. I ended up offering 33 on this model and got it for 34, which is kind of interesting that it wasn't like 35 or 36. I'm certainly not complaining though, as I got a really good deal on it. So that was reason number one. Reason number two is I've been trying to build up my Canadian Airlines fleet, and this is even cooler now that I've been to Canada recently. What a fun trip that was. Expect a bunch of fun content on it. But my favorite memory with Flair was definitely getting to sit right and have lunch right next to a Flair 737 MAX 8 at Victoria International Airport. We were having lunch at gate number 12, and you could see outlooking the Flair Max. That was really cool. Yes, it was top lit, but it's okay. But that was really fun. And then I got to see quite a few at Vancouver and Calgary. So ultimately, really fun to get to see these, and really excited to finally have the model to continue to build up on my fleet. Really would like a Lynx 737 MAX 8. I would like to see GeminiJets or NG models do that here in the future. So that would be really fun. I don't think NG did it. I'm pretty sure they haven't, but I'm still trying to get my standards with Canadian Airlines. But now that I've been there, I can get a little bit more of a grasp. But again, this was a really good deal, and I thought it was a good opportunity. And who knows when NG will release a MAX. They haven't done a 737-800, so it's certainly possible that they'll do a MAX, and if they do, I'll just flop them. But certainly a really cool piece to add to the collection, especially for the amazing price, and Airliners Day 3 discounts are really getting off the ground here. So let's go ahead and get started. GeminiJets made for collectors by collectors. Here's the CGI. Again, $34, not $38. So this was $10 off the discounted price. This, of course, the MSRP, and then we went even farther down from that. So really great deal on it. Boeing 737 MAX 8. Here's the Flair Airlines logo right there, and then you got the various sides here of the box that looks fantastic. And in the back, of course, you got your 2022 release month, maybe like October, November, somewhere in there. It might have been earlier than that. I can't remember, to be honest, but I know it was released in 2022. And of course, you got the pamphlet here with all your various details right here. And then, of course, you got the aircraft inside with the beautiful livery that Flair has. I really like their livery. So looking really good right here. And hope to try them here in the near future at some point. But nevertheless, here we go for the Flair MAX 8. What a good looking model this is. I'm very excited to have it in the collection, and it will be a really nice asset to utilize. Alrighty everybody, and here we have the GeminiJets, 1:400 scale Flair Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8. Very excited to have this aircraft. This is a really cool one for the collection right here for a variety of reasons. GeminiJets, this is definitely one of their better efforts. This is one of their best Maxes in my opinion. A really good job right here. Very excited to take a look at this. Let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone. Pretty solid Max here for GeminiJets, so looking good. Here's the nose landing gear door. Height, for whatever reason, seems a little bit more reasonable in this one. I could be getting used to the mold, so that could be why, but it seems like it's not quite as high as like the Southwest Max, for instance, so that's certainly very encouraging right there. There's the L1 door along with the Flair billboard titles. Of course, Flair, an all-economy, low-cost startup to complement Lynx, so Canada's been getting their fair share of startup airlines, just how the US got Breeze and Avelo, and hopefully many more to come. So very exciting right there. There is the CFM LEB engine. That one looks really good. I think or is it LEAP? I think it's LEAP or LEF, something like that. But nevertheless, looking really good here. They certainly have worked on the QC angle. It was just a touch low, which is kind of ironic because I said for so many Maxes, I hope that gets lower. And it did. The other side looks slightly better, but this is really good. Just a little bit of tilt and it would have been just right. But honestly, no complaining to be done. That's really good. It's nicely done. The antenna looks really good, actually in place right here. It's a little big, of course, but really not bad on this one, so I think they did a really good job there. And there's the emergency exit hatch, and along with the slide there, and then of course you got the wing there with the flap slide, the speed brake detail. Flair with their really cool, I don't know if I would classify it as a neon green, but it's some sort of, you know, like mint green. Yeah, mint kind of sounds like a better word to use there, and I think it looks really good. Another cool component there is the main landing gear on the outside has the black outline, which looks really cool, so that's really nice. Again, the wings are really nicely detailed there, and you can see where the tires still kind of are a little out of place, but certainly not bad. They did a pretty good job here. At least it kind of hid the issues, so that's a good start. And then, of course, you got the back here with some other various cool details where the mint green and the hot pink swoop into the black, which looks really nice. And then, of course, you got the registration of Charlie Foxtrot Lima X-Ray Delta, the Canadian flag, and then, of course, you got the L2 door, and then the beautiful tail there with the green circle. I'm kind of surprised they didn't choose to center it on the tail, but they certainly did something different there. And then, of course, the rest of the tail is just nice standard in black, and I think you got some sort of fleet code or something there on the top of the tail, which is really cool. You got some APU detail along with the horizontal stabilizers as well. Right, the aircraft is very simple. You just got some additional cargo doors, and that's about all she wrote on that side. The engine, though, you can certainly note the slight angle that it has, which I think is just about right. Maybe just a touch high, but again, we're getting into really neglectable details here. They certainly have made efforts from some previous ones, so that's what matters here. Also note the Flair winglet here on the inside. That looks really cool. I didn't even notice on the other side, which it should be there. Yes, I guess I got so caught up holding it like this and not looking back there that I missed that. So sorry about that, but nevertheless, it looks really good. Top of the aircraft has some pretty standard details there. It looks really good, so good job there by Gemini. And the bottom does have the Flair.com underbelly, which is really cool. I didn't even know that existed, so really cool to see that. You got the stand hole, the main landing gear, the GeminiJets logo, and all those applicable details. How great is that? Really good model. GeminiJets did this one, their best maxes to date. Really happy with this one. Great pickup, great price. Very pleased with it, and it certainly will be a great model for the collection. Very excited to have this one for various reasons. Alrighty, everybody, next up we have yet another Canadian aircraft, and that's going to be the Phoenix models. 1-400 scale Air Canada cargo Boeing 767-300 BDSF, so cargo freighter. Really cool to have this one. So this has been flying the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport lately, so that was my main reason for getting it, but it's a really nice model. I kind of took it out and took a look, and I was like, yeah, this is a good choice. So very excited to have this. This came from West Coast Diecast, and I'm certainly very excited to have this model in the collection. Let's get into it. Boeing 767-300ER BDSF. Here's the aircraft itself, along with the Canadian flag, Air Canada cargo registration, Charlie Golf Hotel Lima Victor, and then of course you got the 1-400 scale Platinum series here. You got the Phoenix logo to denote it, and along with the other details there with like the heart of aviation, so on and so forth. I think Phoenix makes some pretty good models. Their Lufthansa offerings lately and some other internationals like the Northwest and Deltas and all those have looked really great, so certainly cool. And another yet limited edition for Phoenix, even though I think everything they do is limited edition. So what a cool model this is. Really excited to have this one. Like I said, this will be a very cool component. One really cool part about this plastic cradle, I kind of got ahead of myself. You can see like where the plastic rises, which is really neat. I can't say that I've ever seen something quite like that. The plastic literally just kind of rises. I think that's in favor of the I really can't tell you what's in favor of, to be honest. I mean, I'm looking here. I think it might be in favor of like getting your hand in it a little bit easier, but honestly, I'm not sure. Maybe holding it. I'm really not sure what the intention is there, but nevertheless, regardless of the intention of this review is going to be to take a look at how gorgeous that airplane is. That is fantastic. Alrighty, everybody, and here it is, the Phoenix models, 1-400 scale Air Canada cargo Boeing 767-300 freighter. Very excited to have this aircraft. It's always nice when you get a 767 in your collection, 2023. No exception right here with this Air Canada cargo. Great looking plane. Let's go ahead and dive into the details. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go. We got the cockpit windows and the Phoenix 767 nose. Kind of different, but you know, it's kind of grown on me, so not complaining too much there. You do have the Peter tubes along with your nose landing gear door. One of the most interesting component of the Phoenix molds, in my opinion, is certainly the silver trim around the landing gear. I've always found that fascinating. So another prime example here with this Air Canada cargo iteration. Here's the L1 door. It is not a boarding door, just a standard door, so looking good there. And then the Air Canada cargo livery is pretty simple. So you have your Air Canada billboard titles complemented by a cargo non-bolded text, which is really cool. Here's the Air Canada logo right here. Love the maple leaf. It looks great. You got the red antenna and the normal antenna complemented by the cargo door, so that's really cool. Very glad to see that, along with your various panels there too. There's your engine. It looks really nice. Love the color on it. That looks really cool. There's the main landing gear. That's typically what I think of when I think about Phoenix models, is the landing gear being so different. When I got that 777 back in Christmas 2020 that my mom surprised me with, I just couldn't stop thinking about the landing gear and how they have the silver trim around them, which is pretty interesting. It looks really cool. And then of course you have the winglets right there. Love the red. They look really great. Really fantastic. You can see where the passenger windows have been axed. I'm thinking that this came over from Air Canada Rouge, the actual airline, although I have no idea, but that would be my best assumption is where this aircraft came from, although it could have came from anywhere else. So who knows? Registration on this guy is going to be Charlie Golf Hotel Lima Victor, and then you have the 767-300. I think it says BDSF on it probably, and all that fun stuff. Can't see it from here. So you do have a baggage door and an L2 door along with the beautiful Air Canada tail. Again, I'm thinking this is a Rouge conversion. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I need to do the research. I don't probably need to do the research. I need to do the research. So, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case. You also got the horizontal stabilizers, APU detail, and all the other applicable elements. Right side of the aircraft, also really need to note how the the Phoenix tires, for whatever reason, usually drift off right. I don't know why that is, but you can see there's also a little bit of a thick piece on there too. You can kind of see it rolling there if you know what I'm talking about. So certainly interesting. Here's another perspective on it. I don't know why it leans right, but it does. You do have all the other various elements, including the cargo bin doors, probably from the converted passenger, along with the tail once again. Top of the aircraft, again, very simple, not too much to it, just a couple of marks. That's about all she wrote on that. In the bottom, you got the Phoenix logo along with the really cool red mesh and a couple of antennas, the first one being red, which is really cool, and all that fun stuff. Again, I'm thinking this is a Rouge passenger conversion, which is really cool, but nevertheless, a really cool model to have. Certainly a very unique piece for the collection. Really excited to continue to build up this Canadian fleet. Certainly want to get some of the props now that I've flown on them, like the Air Canada Dash 8 and the WestJet Saab 340, and who knows, maybe even try to custom make a Harbor Air Twin Otter and a Pacific Coastal Beechcraft 1900. So certainly a bunch to be done there, but only time will tell with how busy I've been. So certainly very cool to have this, though, and this will be a great addition to the collection. Alrighty, everybody, and here we have the engine models. 1-400 scale Air Tahiti Nui Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Really excited to have this aircraft. This will be a great complement to the A340-300 that I got earlier this year, so I'm certainly looking very forward to pairing these two. This will be a great modern offering for my Air Tahiti Nui fleet, and I think this will be a really good way to continue to expand on my Asia fleet as I continue to try to broaden out on my international fleet. Would love to get a Cathay Pacific and a Philippine Airlines and a bunch of various ones. Eva Air, you know, there's a bunch to be done in my collection, so we'll just take it one step at a time. But nevertheless, here we go. I know it's technically an airline duplicate, but it's a modern aircraft and will be a pivotal asset for many years to come, so there is that. So looking very forward to this. Let's go ahead and get started. Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Here's the CGI. Air Tahiti Nui, registration Foxtrot Oscar Mike, Uniform Alpha. I haven't heard Oscar in a while, so that's why I was kind of like, is that right? It was. NG models 1-400 scale. You got the Boeing licensing, everything that one could want. This came from the Texan Airplane Store. Huge shout out to them. Great store. Highly recommend checking out their online store along with everywhere that they go, including Airlines International, the one-day Dallas show, which will be next April, and then this upcoming November, I expect them to be at the Houston show. So definitely stay on the lookout for that. Who knows, maybe I'll even be able to sneak down there for that one. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into the Dreamliner. So here it is right here, looking really nice. Love all the various elements of it. Let's go ahead and get into it, everybody. So here is the aircraft right here, looking very nice, and here she is. What a stunner. I don't even remember getting this one out for the Airliners Haul video that I did, but now I'm really thinking about it, and that's a great look here. Alrighty, everybody, and here we go for the engine models. 1-400 scale Air Tahiti Nui Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. Really unique model right here to add. I'm really excited for my collection to continue to get these new various assets, and this is certainly one of them. Very excited for this model. This is going to be a great one. Let's get into it, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go. So here is the cockpit windows along with their local flag in the really cool blue to cheat line here for the white underbelly, looking really nice. Here's nose landing gear door along with the L1 door. Air Tahiti Nui billboard titles, which take up a really good portion. They go all the way from the L1 door to over the wing, which is really interesting. So that's absolutely fantastic. Excuse me. Here are your two red cheat lines that go across. You also got some various panels and whatnot that look really nice. Here's your antenna along with the Wi-Fi box, the L2 door, and some really good detail on there as well. Here's the engine. Always can't fail with another Dreamliner engine there. I probably have too many of these in my fleet. I need to continue to expand, but you know, it's really challenging when all you got is 333s, 787s, and A350s flying around right now. I mean, there's a couple exceptions, but those are the big three aircraft types for the most part. So I would like to get some more A330s. That would be nice to get some more A330s. I would really like to do that, even if they're kind of, you know, the Swiss A330 would be cool. I think NG did that one. You know, there's a bunch that when I'm building this international fleet, I really need to try to diversify. But every time, outside of the exceptions that I bought, like this one, I didn't really think about in terms of the aircraft type. There was a couple others, like the Turkish for Dallas, that's a Dreamliner. Qantas was a Dreamliner. It's kind of challenging. So Iberia, please get an A330 1-400, or not talking to Iberia directly, but NG models, please make an Iberia 330 1-400. That would be just absolutely phenomenal. Anyways, though, you got the main landing gear along with the wings right here. You got some great various details there with the flaps, slats, and speed brakes looking really good in the main landing gear as well. The beautiful, really cool design. I'm kind of, it's slipped my mind what kind of phrasing would be the proper wording to describe it, but it's really cool with the L3 and L4 door. Registration of Foxtrot Oscar Hotel Uniform Alpha, and then you got the Dreamliner right there with the baggage door, the L4 door, and the beautiful Tahiti Nui tail. Really like the flower and everything. That looks really nice just looking at it from various angles. It's a really good looker, so good job there by NG Models for representing that. On the right, very similar details. You do have the cargo doors there in the front and the back, and all the other applicable details. Top of the aircraft looks really good. You got the Wi-Fi box along with the 3 antennas, 1 in the front, 2 in the back. And the bottom of the aircraft also very good, just the 1 antenna there in the back, the stand hole, and all of your other applicable details on the Dreamliner mold. A really good job right here. NG Models once again killing it. This is another great model, and certainly very excited to have this one in my collection. Alrighty everybody, second to last before the really big one, we have the GeminiJets 1-400 scale FedEx Express Boeing 777 Freighter Interactive Series. Very excited to have this aircraft. I've always really wanted to get this one, and of course DG Pilot, the great store they are, I was trying to think what would be the best model to buy to not only support DG Pilot but also add to the collection, and this just continued to stare out of the corner of my eye. I was like, this doesn't fly to any of the airports I do or anything, but it's a really good looker, and the even better part is after I bought this, I got to see and get 2 really good captures of them. One at Seattle Tacoma International, certainly wasn't expecting that one, which was very cool, and the other at Indianapolis International Airport, which was one that I would have expected, but really cool, and we barely made it in time for the FedEx 777, so that just makes this all the more better. And another cool element is I finally get my first interactive 777, so this will be my second overall interactive aircraft. I have the Carlux 747-8 that we got in Massive Unboxing 27, I think 27. I'm kind of losing numbers since we've done 35 at this point, but nevertheless, I'm very excited that this aircraft. Let's try to talk. I've been really excited to get some more various aircraft for the collection, and this is another one. And I really like this mass unboxing because there's a bunch of really good variation. There's no duplicates, none of that. I mean, Delta 753, I guess, but in the JetBlue A321, but a really good variety overall, and it's really good. So here we go. FedEx Express 777, everything that you need to know, of course, denoted by the interactive sticker. You can also notice when you're picking up the box that there's some different like plastic inserts and everything, of course, for all the interactive pieces. Really cool with the FedEx boxes, how they kind of outline it differently in the interactive. So not even a sky backdrop, just a really standard white backdrop there, since it's trying to highlight the interactive. So as you can see, this is a 2022 release. I'm betting my money, I'm thinking it's November. I'm almost positive that's when it was, although I could be wrong, with the American 320 and all those. There's the pamphlet right there for all your applicable information in the FedEx 777 here inside. So I'm really excited to get this aircraft. This will be a really good asset for future projects. Indianapolis might be one that I do. That would be a really cool airport. They got some really good variety, and this would, and getting a little FedEx hub going there would be really fun. So that's certainly on my list now that I've been there several times. Was never expecting that to be the case, but you get led in mysterious ways sometimes, and it's been really fun to get to explore a bunch of that region. It's a really nice area of the United States. But anyways, here is the interactive FedEx 777. This is a really nice mold, I have to say. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is my first JC Wings 222. I think it is. Even though it's interactive, I think this is my first JC Wings 222. I really noticed the landing gear and the wings. That's what really stood out to me. But I think this is my first interactive 222. How cool is this? So this is really awesome. I will go ahead and put the pieces of the interactive portion in here, and we'll go ahead and get started. Also in the box, you get the little tool, which is very helpful if it gets stuck. And then, of course, you get 6 pieces, 3 for the closed, 3 for the open config. Also really cool to see how it's noted by 777F right there. I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's also a really cool piece. Alrighty everybody, and here we go for the GeminiJets, a 1:400 scale FedEx Express Boeing 777 Freighter Interactive Series. What a good looking aircraft this is, a really unique one, a really cool mold, and obviously you don't have a front cargo door, so it's a really different one, and certainly one that I am very excited to have. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty everybody, so here we go. So here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone looking really good here for JC wings. Here's nose landing gear and nose landing gear door, really nicely detailed and the proportions fantastic. You also have some various panels in the world on time, so on and so forth, looking really good. Sorry, I was trying to make it on that breath. Excuse me. Here's the L1 boarding door, and it's not even a boarding door. That tells you how much of a habit passenger planes are, along with the FedEx Express billboard titles looking really good. You have the gray underbelly that looks really nice, and then of course you have the FedEx Express engines. Those are beautiful, man. I don't know if I have a 777 with those engines. That is really nice. Very glad to see that right there. That looks fantastic. So really nice to see that right there. The landing gear do pivot, which is a really nice component of the mold, and they're also really nicely detailed, so that's fantastic. And there's your wing root, really nicely done here on the two-piece mold. I mean, you can certainly notice it if you look for it, but if you're just glancing, you're not going to notice it, which is really nice. And then of course you got the flap slat and speed brake detail. Also really nice to see the wings come nice and straight out. That's really nice and really cool to see the various characteristics there. And you got an antenna right here along with the first cargo door, and really cool to see. Does that say 777 in there? That might say 777, or I'm not sure if that's the intention, but I'm pretty sure it says 777, which is a really cool part. But obviously you can load your cargo in there and make it really realistic, so that's really cool. And I'm excited to utilize this right next to the Cargolux 747 here in the near future. Probably a great plane, so stay on the lookout for that. And maybe even Indianapolis, since I've been there so much. And again, was not expecting that to be the case, but I've been there 6 times this year, and certainly is an awesome airport. So that might be an airport project for the future. Registration's over 889 Foxtrot Delta, and you got some more antennas along with the beautiful FedEx tail with the purple. That looks really nice, and absolutely love that, along with the APU and all those various details. Right, I'd say the aircraft does have a little bit more than what you would typically expect. Of course, you have the all the similar components with the door, nose landing gear door, but you, of course, you have the interactive piece right there, which I'm really surprised it extends that far out. I was kind of sitting here playing with it, and I was like, why? It should go in a little bit easier than that, but no, I think it's supposed to come out that far. So you have the FedEx Express titles on it too, which is really cool, so certainly nice to see that. So there's the billboard titles along with the door extending out, so that's a really cool piece, and a really small slit there, so I'm kind of surprised it's that narrow, but it does look good regardless. And then again, you have those engines that look absolutely fantastic. I gotta figure out, are these Rolls-Royce? Is that why they're so big, or are they different type? These are I gotta turn my brain on. I know it's been a busy few days here for myself, but I gotta turn my brain on. Duh, those are golly. General Electric's, not Rolls-Royce. No wonder I can't put myself together sometimes. Okay, apologies guys. Trying to get as much content as I can done during this intermission. I kind of ran myself into the ground today, so I apologize. Main landing gear, there are 3 tires on each side of that gear though, so that's correctly stated. And of course you got the one in the back there, which is also pretty far extended. This view would be pretty helpful to see what I'm referring to. So really cool to see how far out it comes, and then obviously how it opens, which is really cool. And the FedEx tail once again. Top of the aircraft's got some really good details. You can see the various characteristics and everything right there. They look really great. It's nicely done there by GeminiJets. In the bottom looks really nice. You got the GeminiJets logo. Of course, the interactive pieces for the bottom. You can see the landing gear and all the great detail. I'm really excited to have this one. I believe this is my first 777 with the JC Wings mold, and I think my first 777 with General Electric engines, which is really cool. So very excited to have this one. This is a really cool piece for the collection, and we have one more big boy to finish this all off. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright everybody, the grand finale is going to be the Gemini 200 1:200 scale Antonov 225. How cool of a model is this? Really glad to have this one, and what a deal. So ended up getting this within the last 30 minutes of the Airlines International 2023 convention in Dallas. It was so cool. I was like, man, can I finish this off on the bang? I thought about some different models, like there was a KLM 777 that was missing antenna for like 120 bucks. I thought that one was really good. Thought about a couple other 1-200 heavies, and then I stumbled across this, and I was like, I initially eliminated it because I was like, can I really justify spending that much money? But then a big group got around me after I asked on a price, and I offered 175. It was listed at 225. I got a counter offer for 200. And after thinking about it for a solid 2 minutes, I decided to buy it, and the rest is history. Be sure to check out the full video on it. It was really fun to make, and I really enjoyed it. So let me go ahead and get the camera put up here so you can really see how big this box is because it's really huge. So here's the front of it, Gemini 200. You got the Antonov logo, all that. I'll kind of spin around the sides here. It's going to be a little bit tougher for the microphone since it's that big of a box, but of course, pretty standard Gemini 200 box minus the size. A 2023 release, everything you need to know. Again, really glad to have this one. This is a really cool model for the collection. Let me go ahead and get on the other side and unbox it here. Again, really neat model, and very glad to have this one in the collection. Alrighty, everybody, and for the last little bit of daylight here on this beautiful Sunday summer evening, right here we have the Gemini 200 1:200 scale Antonov Airlines 225 AN225. No explanation needed. This is an absolute unit, and this is my third time unboxing it, and I'm not bored of it. It is a really cool model, and I am so glad to have this. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so you got the cockpit windows up there along with the Antonov 225 titles right here. Nose cone, so cool, looks absolutely amazing. Here's the antenna, and then the two nose landing gears right there that look absolutely amazing. Here's where the nose piece opens up right there. International cargo transporter, and then you got some more verbiage down there on the bottom. MPIR. You got the flag along with the various pitot tubes and everything, I would presume, over here, along with the doors, which are really cool. And then of course you got 3 antennas on the top, this one offset over to the right, which is really cool. And then of course you got some more various details on here, including the various air inlets, and then the warnings, and the livery continues. Just a really cool plane overall. You can see the main landing gear there. I think there's like 30 no, I think it was 18. I think it was like 22 tires, which is just absolutely mind-blowing by itself. That's an absolute crazy number, excuse me, but really cool to see that. And then of course you got all 3 of those engines. Let me get them all 3 in frame. That is just absolutely majestic, no questions about it. That is so cool. And then the big roof piece up there too, just absolutely amazing. I mean, it's really hard to even look at this, and I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. It kind of does. There's the wing where that ends down there. And of course, from the back, you can see where the aircraft goes in the full detail there. Registration kind of peeking out right there. Uniform Romeo 82060. And of course, you got the various other assets there of the empennage, something like that. I'm forgetting the proper pronunciation of it. Antonov Airlines, you got the 2 vertical stabilizers to complement the 2 horizontal stabilizers. I mean, it's just such a unique aircraft type, and it's really cool in various ways. So that's absolutely fantastic. Left side of the aircraft is very similar, but you got some different hazards in it, or not hazards, but I should say details and everything, and that looks absolutely fantastic there as well. So what I'm going to do is actually end up cutting this to tomorrow so I can line up all these aircraft for all of you, along with to give you a better view of this Antonov because the sun's kind of fading on us. So it's going to take 24 hours in real life, but it's actually going to take all of about 2 seconds here to transition into the next frame. So with all that being said, let's transition. Hope you guys are excited for it. Here we go. Alrighty, everybody, so here we go for all of our models here. What a great looking lineup for the Airlines International Hall. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a closer look at all of them. British Airways Airbus A319, really cool pickup right here. Thank you, JJ, again. I very much appreciate it. Really unique one here for the collection, and certainly very glad to have it right here. And the Braniff 727-200, what a snag that was right there. Will be a critical asset, and very excited to have that one in the fleet. Really cool model. Delta 757-300, what a special meaning here from AS Aviation. Thank you so much for recognizing this once again, buddy. I appreciate it. So glad to have another plane that I've flown in my collection, and what a special one that is right there. And a Flair 737 MAX 8. Very excited to have it. Certainly exceeded my expectations, and what a cool model that is right there. And of course, the NG models exclusive for Airlines International, the JetBlue A321, and unboxing would not be complete without that model, so certainly very glad to have it. It is a really good one in various ways. And the Spotlight Airbus A320, once again, a really cool model. Very glad to have it. Feel free to check out West Coast Diecast and use that discount code Redriveraviation for 10% off your order if you're interested in that one or anything else that they have. The Air Canada Cargo 767-300 freighter was certainly a surprise. I would have never expected to get that one, but it is a very cool one, and glad to take a hit there on a miscellaneous piece, so very glad to have that one right there. The Interactive FedEx 777-200 freighter was certainly a really nice pickup. Very glad to have it there. You can see with the doors opening there on the right side of the aircraft. Really pretty plane. Very glad to have that one, and that is a beautiful aircraft for various reasons, so very glad to have that one here in the fleet right now. The Tahiti Nui Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner was also another very clutch pickup. I think that will very much expand the international diversity in my collection, and I'm very excited to have that one as well. And last but certainly not least, you can't forget about the Antonov 225. Really great deal. Very glad to get it. It is a seller model, and if I had to say, if you were saving up for one ginormous purchase, I would not. Couldn't recommend that one more to you. It's a really unique piece of aviation history.
Obviously, a very sad outcome there with it, but it really represents how far aviation can take you in terms of developing a plane and everything, and that's no exception there with the Antonov 225. So really cool model right there. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's massive unboxing. Thank you guys so much for watching. A bunch of great massive unboxings this summer and many more to come. I have a bunch of models on the way, so expect those to be coming soon. And overall, just a bunch of really cool models in general. So really happy about these. I hope you guys are as well. But with all that being said, everybody, that'll do for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.